يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. We're going to continue inshallah with the Ashrat al-Sa'a, the signs of the final day, the final hour. And tonight inshallah, I wanted to focus on the small signs, the minor signs. Just so you know, in the Shara' and the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and in the Quran, there's no reference to major signs or minor signs, big signs or small signs. No, they're all signs. But the ulama divided them into major signs, which are the 10 major ones before the final hour. And those ones are kasilsila. They come as a chain, sort of like a necklace of pearls. If you cut that necklace, every pearl will fall consecutive, one after the other. And we covered that in the past 2 halaqas with the coming of Masih al-Dajjal, with Isa ibn Maryam, Yajuj Majuj, ila akhirih. So those from the 10 major signs. And then we have the minor, smaller signs. Also they deciphered, or the ulama, they distinguish between the signs as signs yani samawiyya wa ardiyya. Signs of the final day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, meaning the signs that will occur in the heavens and the signs that will occur on earth. However, as I mentioned, there is no direct reference from the Nas that refers to them as major or minor. Okay? And the difference between them, as I mentioned, is that the major signs come one after the other, consecutive. And they're very rapid in succession. The minor signs, most of them have occurred. يعني من علامات الساعة الصغرى معظمها, the majority has come to pass. The majority of the signs of the hour have come to pass, and some of those signs are reoccurring, meaning they happen time and time again. Okay? So those are just some minor differences that you should note, inshallah. And when I say that yani, a lot of the small or the minor signs have come and passed, the Nubuwwah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the prophethood of Muhammad Abul Qasim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was one of the minor signs. لأنه قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, I came, me in the hour كهاتين, and he gave the reference between his index finger and his middle finger. He says, me in the hour came as these two, either the height difference or the difference in space. And his death, the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is also a sign of the coming of the hour. In many narrations, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave great insight to the Sahaba radiallahu anhum to await the Sa'ah. He says, in some of the narrations he will refer to, he will say, the hour will not come to pass. لا تقوم الساعة. The hour will not come to pass until such and such. In other narrations he would say, if this happens, فانتظر الساعة. Await the hour, meaning the hour is really close. And a lot of the small signs that I'm going to reiterate to you from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have come to pass. And these are there's no mistaking this. One of the ahadith mentions, he says sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, في أمتي, in my ummah, near the end of times, سيكون خسف وقذف سيكون خسف ومسخ وقذف. What is khasf? What is khasf? We already spoke about this last halaqa actually. The 4 last signs, one of them is khasfun fil mashriq wa khasfun fil maghrib wa khasfun fi jazirat al-arab. What is khasf? Sinkhole or eclipse. Yes, you're right. So in this reference of this hadith, khasf can mean 2 things. Either increase of sinkholes okay, collapse of earth or eclipses, okay? مسخ, what is مسخ? ما هو المسخ؟ تغيير. The ulama said this is a reference to if Allah Azza wa Jal curses a people, just as He has cursed Banu Israel, and a tribe from them was morphed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into swines and apes. هذا يسمى مسخ. Some of the ulama said that this was the tribe that was referred to by this hadith in a sense. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed this tribe of Banu Israel and He converted their human nature into an animal nature, not just any animals, but swines and apes. However, there's also another understanding to this. If you look at what masakh is, it's changing a form, to metamorphosize. Okay? He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَهُوَ الصَّادِقُ الْمَصْدُوقُ, he says, near the end of times, these things will come to pass, where people will metamorphosize. They will change their form, or they will be altered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we know exactly the tribe of Banu Israel that happened to. But if you look around today, are people not trying to change their forms, their sexual orientations? People in our societies, in our modern day world, are changing their physical structure. They're metamorphosizing into a different gender, as they say. And indeed, this could be categorized as masakh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them. And if you know anyone who is suffering from this illness, and it is absolutely an illness, they need to seek medical attention, and Islamic guidance. Because there is no reason for you as a young boy or a young man to question, what gender am I? There is no reason for you to question, am I a boy or a girl? You are a boy and you will grow to be a man. I repeat, you are a boy and you will grow to be a man. This is very important, because we live in an age and a society that encourages young men like you and tells you that you can be anything you want. Today you're a boy, tomorrow you're an elephant. The next day you're a unicorn. It's all accepted by today's society, and it is not a laughing matter. It's very serious. If anybody tells you, tell them, I am a boy and I will grow to be a what? Man. And if for the girls, I am a girl and I will grow to be a woman. That's it. Qudi al-amr. There's no need to, La. The last one he mentioned, salawatu rabbi wa salamu alayhi, he says, qadf. وَمَا هُوَ الْقَدْفِ? Qadf here means two things. Ar-rami, in English, it means either to cast with defamation, or to cast with stones. And it's very, very important to understand that we live in a society right now where everyone is being slandered and vilified. وَالْقَدْف المعنى الراجح, the more correct understanding of what qadf is to pelter someone with slander based on sexuality. Okay? There is a lot of people right now in our communities that will speak ill about other people's women. And this is very, very haram. Min al-kaba'ir. You can't speak ill of any Muslim woman, specifically bil-qadf. Okay, it's worse than talking bad about people. It's when you are speaking ill, you're lying, and you're speaking ill about that person's sexuality. This is min al-kaba'ir, from the big sins. Because not only are you tarnishing her image, The Sharifa al-Afifa, you're tarnishing her father's image, her mother's image, her family's image, and the community's image. Okay? And this has happened. It's widespread in our communities, in the Arab and the Muslim lands. If you want to really harm someone, wal-'iyadu billah, you speak ill about that person's daughter or that person's wife. And this is haram. Haram. And it is reoccurring and it goes on and on. When he said this, the Sahaba, they asked, Ya Rasulullah, wa mata dhalik? When will this happen? When will these three happen? When will the qadf and the khasf and the masq occur? He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا ظَهَرَتِ الْقَيْنَاتِ وَالْمَعَازِفِ وَشُرِبَتِ الْخُمُورِ رواه الترمذي صححه الشيخ الألباني رحمة الله عليه. I want you to pay close attention, okay? Because the Sahaba, they not only understood what the signs are, but they also asked, when will they come? And he said, these signs will come to pass when women are entertaining. They are the entertainers and the musicians, al-qaynat. And another dalala, another sign is when alcohol is being consumed openly. وَشُرِبَتِ الْخُمُورِ. Now if you look in our society, all the famous music stars and the pop stars, all these women, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, they are the absolute most wretched human beings that walk the face of the earth. And they are influencing all of the women and the men to do and to say things and to think things. This is the time that Rasulullah was referring to. And these are the women that increase in fuhsh. In fuhsh. Ma huwa al-fahsha? It is lewd, despicable things. Okay? Bad words. Tfaddal.
They're encouraging men and women to do things like through their music?
Yes. If you follow the mainstream medias and all this, even if you go to the mall and the shopping center, you will hear the music playing. And if you listen closely to the lyrics, it is despicable to what they're calling them towards. I'm not going to quote these quotes or mention names, but wal-'iyadu billah, these women are doing the deeds of shaitan, wal-'iyadu billah. And they encourage al-fuhsh. This is another sign of Yawm al-Qiyamah, that al-fuhsh will increase. Fuhsh is something which is lewd and dirty. Bad language, for example, is min al-fahsha. Bad language is min al-fahsha, and it's commonly used by so many people. They can't say a word without saying the F word. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. This is common, and this is from the signs of the akhirah. Az-zina, where people don't get married the halal way in order to have a wife, they go and sleep around. This is haram min akbar al-kaba'ir, and this will increase near the end of time, as we are seeing. And music. So al-qaynat are referred to females who entertain with music, with sexual allure. And as we know today, everything deals with music. Whether you're at the shopping center, whether you're at the gym, whether you're doesn't matter. You just call a call center, they'll put you on hold, you have to listen to the music. It's festered into the minds, into the hearts of the society. And the alcohol. Alcohol will be widespread. In another narration, I'm going to mention something to you. It's very interesting. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that near the end of times, alcohol will be widespread, readily available, and accepted, and labeled by a different name. Because what was once haram, فَيَسْتَحِلُّونَ, they make it halal. لَيَسْتَحِلَّنَّ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْ أُمَّتِي. This is exactly how he said it. A group of my ummah, Muslims, will deem or make alcohol halal. How do they do that? Because we know it's haram. Madhkur fil Quran, madhkur fil Hadith. They will label it as a different name. They won't call it alcohol or khamr or intoxicants. They will say it's mashrubat ruhiyya, it's just to relax. It's medicine. It's medicine. You know, it just takes the ease off. Just a little sip, a little puff here and there, and you're good to go. It's still haram. And this is a sign of Yawm al-Qiyamah fast approaching. I'll give you one that maybe you guys don't know. من أشراط الساعة الصغرى تزيين المساجد. Beautification of the mosques. Now when I say this, it doesn't mean that the masjid shouldn't be beautiful, no. It doesn't mean we should pray in a cave and it's dark and dingy, abadan. No, you should have nice clean carpets, clean walls, more importantly, a clean bathroom. And I always check the bathrooms of the masajid when I go to see how, if you want to know how the musallin are in terms of adab, check the bathrooms of the masajid. And ya subhanallah, nas'alullah al-afwa wal-afiyah. It's absolutely appalling what I have seen. Not in this masjid, by the way. This masjid, tabarakallah, Allah bless you all. But I am talking about some disasters. I mean, I just don't understand how somebody could abuse the bathroom like that. Not use, abuse the bathroom like that. Yani urine all over the seat. And I don't want to describe any further, but it's disgusting. And then they come to pray. Be very cautious. You're in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And people come here to pray. So you have to make sure, do your due diligence to make everything clean in this place. Very important. تزيين المساجد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتباهى الناس في المساجد. يتباهى الناس في المساجد. The hour will not come to pass until people will start to show off, compete with each other in terms of beautifying the masajid. So Surrey North says we have a bigger masjid, we have a finer rug than you. Surrey South says, you know what, we have a mosaic wall. And then east of Surrey says, you know what, we have this huge calligraphy. It says Allah, and the same size one right beside it says Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So beautiful. All of this is nonsense. Nonsense. In fact, it goes against the etiquette in the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have anything on the walls. By the way, this is okay. I would have chosen it to be a little bit more bland, but this is okay because it blocks the glass, blocks anyone from seeing in or out. But calligraphy, ayat Qur'aniyya, all this stuff, no. This is not a place for it. Okay? Even in your homes, you should, that doesn't remind you of anything. Okay? You just put it there as beautification. Ayatullah, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are supposed to be memorized and implemented in everyday life, not just hung up on the wall. But in the masajid, more particularly, because it distracts people. You guys have seen masajid in the Middle East and in the Khalij, where they spent millions of dollars, just on the calligraphy on the walls. And it's a waste of money. And it's a sign of the hour. It's a sign of the hour, wal-iyadu billah. Because people now, it's just about a show. We built 20 masajid, and nobody prays in them. Just Jum'ah. Friday, all the Fridayans, you know the Fridayans? They come on Jum'ah to see the beautiful masjid, take pictures. You know, one guy, I remember during COVID, we were doing the renovation in a masjid, and it was just me and a few brothers there, because we weren't allowed to pray in congregation because of the flu, COVID. But one of the locals came in, him and his son, and I'll never forget this. And he said, can I pray? I said, Fadlan, of course. So he came and he was praying, and we were working construction in the masjid, and then I look over, and him and his son, they're taking pictures. He says, take a picture. He goes for sujood, and he says, take a picture. What are we doing? Hadi ibadah? What is this? What are you guys doing? Be very careful. You know, as soon as we turn our deen, these acts of worship, into Instagram posts and likes and dislikes and look at me and wow, this is when it gets dangerous, man. This is when it gets really dangerous. Abi Darda radiallahu anhu ardah, he was reported to have said, with hadith marfu', he said something along the lines of, if you beautify your mosques and you beautify the Quran, فَانْتَظِرُوا الْهَلَاكِ. Yani al-halak. Destruction is coming to you. And this is exactly where we are. This is exactly where we are. Because we have beautified our mosque, we have beautified ourselves, we have beautified the Quran, and then there's no practice. Huh? It's just a show. It's just a show. And what a disgusting show it is. And when the curtain gets dropped and lifted, انفضحت. Huh? And then what the heck are you going to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Huh? فَقَدْ قِيل. The first three people, the first three Muslims that will enter hellfire, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ نَسْأَلَ اللَّهِ الْعَافِيَةِ, they were just looking to show. They got the show and they got everybody to know who they were. فَقَدْ قِيل إِلَى النَّارِ وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. نسأل الله العافية. نسأل الله العافية. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you sincere. نسأل الله الإخلاص. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Another sign from the signs of the hour that has come to pass again. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إذا تطاولوا رعاة الإبل البهم في البنيان في رواية رعاة الحفاة. He says the hour will not come to be until the shepherds who have no sandals, they're barefoot shepherds. And al-buhm means unknown people. They are nomads. You ever see a picture on National Discovery Channel, those nomads that go in the desert? Do they ever get their names? No. It's just some guy in the Arabian Peninsula or the Sahara Desert in Mulatham. You don't even know his name, his father's name, his mother's name. This is exactly the people that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is referring to. The same people that have built Burj Khalifa. Huh? They were shepherds, nothing on their feet, barefoot. They used to shepherd their camels and their flocks in the desert. Nobody knew them. And now they have the largest, most tallest tower, Burj Khalifa. I'll ask somebody here, who built Burj Khalifa?
UAE.
Yeah, but who? Do you know the guy? Do you know his name? Do you know his family's name? They're nobodies. They're nobodies. They were shepherds. They were Badaw. These are the same people that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was referring to. Barefoot shepherds that nobody once knew. Popped out of nowhere. They got all this wealth, huh? And now they're building these immense towers. يَتَطَاوَلُونَ فِي الْبُنْيَانِ. They're competing. We build the tallest clock. This guy built the tallest hotel. This guy built, I don't know what. This guy's buying yachts and that guy's buying homosexual paintings. Why? Because we have money. يَتَطَاوَلُونَ فِي الْبُنْيَانِ. They have nothing. They were nobody. This is a sign of the hour. Has come to pass. Subhanallah. He also said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that al-ama, and this is very interesting. I wanna emphasize this for you. He says the hour will not come to be until the slave woman will give birth to her master. Ama means slave woman, female tense. Abdullah is slave man. Okay? This, the ulama, they differed. They said that this has come to pass twice. One, fil futuhat, when the Muslims were expanding, the conquest of Islam, the expansion of Islam. MashaAllah, Islam reached everywhere. And during that conquest, there were Sabi, women that were taken as slaves. And some of them gave birth to future rulers. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that the hour will not come to be until a slave woman, a woman that was once a slave, meaning, will give birth to her master, meaning the future leader of the people. So that's already happened. Another understanding of this that is more to be implemented and understood in our times is that every woman, a woman, because if you refer to any woman, whether she's Muslim or not, نسميها أمة الله. She is called Amatullah, the slave of Allah. Just like every man and male is Abdullah. So Abdullah is for male, Amatullah is female. Every woman that gives birth, some of those children that come, they will be the masters of their mother. They will order mama, and say, bring me this, do that for me, give me that, I don't want this, give me my shoes, tie my shoelaces, put my jacket on, put my bag on. Does it sound like anyone you know? I hope not. Because this is a sign of Yawm al-Qiyamah. And I see it everywhere. Where adults bring children into this world and they don't know how to raise them. And if you get out of line and you think you're the master, you need to get put back in your place right away, smack. And we don't promote abusive children, but you need to know your role. You don't command mama to do nothing. Nothing. Especially mama. It's very important. Do you guys know uquq al-walidain? Uquq al-walidain means being disrespectful to your mom or your dad. Is exactly the same. Listen to this. Is exactly the same as shirk. The greatest sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive shirk. It is exactly the same as that. Because on one occasion, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what are you looking at? Don't do that. Pay attention. He said, you know what he said? He said the worst sins are three. He says, ashirku billah, to worship other than Allah. To pray to other than Allah. Number two, to disobey your parents. To be mean to your parents. To talk back to your parents. And then he was sitting and he stood up and he said, Az-zur. Wa shahadati az-zur. Wa shahadati az-zur. He said it 3 times. And to give false testimony. To give false testimony. 3 times. Uquq al-walidain, to disobey your parents. You are literally putting a target on yourself and saying, oh Allah, curse me wal-'iyadhu billah. Because it is deserving of the curse of Allah. I have never met a man, a boy, a woman or a girl that has disobeyed their parents that had a fruitful life. وَأَيْمُ Wallah. If you want to see who is successful and who is honored, it always goes back to, subhanallah, the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person was good to his mother and father. Uquq al-walidain, the Sahaba, the Salaf, if they knew someone was bad to his mother, they would not associate with him. They would not sit or speak to him because they feared that whatever curse is upon this person would affect them. I can't tell you enough. Ibn Sirin, rahmatullahi alayh, he grew up with his mother and cared for her till her last days. And every time he would sit to eat with her, he would just watch her. And his friends, they said, why don't you eat with her? You just sit there and watch your mom eat. He said, akhsha. He says, I fear that if I go to reach for something that her eyes reached for before me, but she couldn't grab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will curse me as aq, as being disobedient to my mother. Do you realize what the day we're living in? Who brought you into this world? Who cared and nurtured for you? It's your mother, your father. From the signs of the akhirah is that a woman will give birth to her master. And you see it at Walmart. The kids crying and rolling around the floor. I want it and I want it. And the poor lady, she says, okay, she's embarrassed. Huh? If that was my son, ask him what would happen. I don't care. I don't care. Would never happen, Aslan, but I'm just saying, you can't do that, whether at home or at public. You are not the master. You are not in charge. It's very important. He also said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the hour will not come to pass until yakthuru al-haraj. Al-haraj is not just death, it's murder. So the hour will not come to pass until murder increases. وفي رواية, in a narration which is interesting, في الصحيح, it said that the killer, al-qatil, does not know why he kills. Wal-maqtul does not know why he was killed. Subhanallah. Tell me now, are we not living in that era? How many innocent lives have been murdered in wars? They don't know why. Masakin. And those degenerate soldiers that are just following orders, they don't know why. They're killing, but they don't know why they're killing. وَقَدْ صَدَقَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. Another sign he says sallallahu alayhi wasallam is that taqarab al-zaman. Taqarab al-zaman, this one is very evident. We see it every day. The fact that time will seem or deem to be closer than the normal. And I actually lived this. I'm a lot older than you think. When I was young, I remember we used to wake up. We used to go visit my uncle, my grandfather, go to the souk, come back, pray dhuhr in the jama, come back, take a nap, get up, have coffee, go to Salat al-Asr. And the day was so long. You can go see people and shop and do this and that. And now, it's like, poof, done. The day is done. The day is done. You can barely get one thing done. This is when I was young. I remember the days were longer, they had more barakah, subhanAllah, I don't know. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that the closeness of time, the time will be, and it seems to be closer, where the year will be like a month. And the month will turn into a week, and the week will be like a day, and the day like an hour. And the hour will pass by so fast, like one of you lights a fire. Flint, like a fire. Another sign of the last day of judgment, from the small and the minor signs that has come to pass, is the closeness of shopping centers. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spoke of this before we lived it. And we are living it now. He said that the centers or the areas of shopping will be close together in terms of distance, and also it refers to the fact that shopping is closer than ever before. Right now you can open whatever you want and buy whatever you want right here. It's close to you, it's so close. Just one click away. So he said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the hour will not come to pass until the shopping centers will be close in proximity and close to our reach. And these, like the malls and these shopping centers, I wanna make sure you guys understand. These are the places of shaitan. The mall, the shopping center, is the markaz of shaitan. That is why you're supposed to say a specific dua before you enter. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu yuhyi wa yumit, wa huwa hayyun la yamut, biyadihi al-khayr, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. As soon as you enter that place, you find yourself upbeat. The lights, it's just this euphoria. Everything's shiny, everything is glimmering. People are smiling at you, they're treating you like the king that you are, as you perceive. They just want your money. Okay? So don't be fooled. They just want your money. And what happens there is people will sell their souls to make a sale, and people will sell their souls to buy something. It's a two-way transaction, and both are losers most of the time. Because that girl trying to sell you that phone, she doesn't have to be scantily clad, but she is. And you're going to buy the most expensive phone just to show off, and you sold a part of your karama. This is happening every day, whether it's a phone or a car or a bag or a jacket, whatever have you. Don't be fooled. I'm not saying don't go to the malls or don't buy anything or don't buy phones or jackets. No. Buy what you need. Forget what you want. It's very important to know the difference right now between a need and a want. What's the difference between a need and a want? Tell me.
Just need, that means if you're gonna be in cold weather, you need
the jacket. But then you want that $1,600 jacket that's full of Canadian goose that died of cancer, right? That's a want. Okay? There's nothing wrong with dressing nice either. No. If you can afford it, why not? But again, serve your needs. Your wants, push them aside a little bit. It's better for you. So he says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the distance of shopping centers in terms of proximity and accessibility will be closer. Another thing he says, increase of business. Near the end of times, لا تقوم الساعة, the hour will not come to pass until business will increase. And this is so interesting. He said something amazing. He said it will increase so much that the woman will share with her husband in business. Allahu Akbar. Yani the increase of business will be so much, and I can give you guys the nas for this hadith, that a woman tushariku zawjaha, she will be in partnership with her zawj in this business. Now, I have to make this very clear. There's nothing wrong with women working in Islam. No, nothing wrong. However, the job must have or must meet the criteria to be a respectful Islamic job. There's no shame in a woman working in Islam. We are not cavemen and no. Okay, we establish women's rights. Again, I don't even have to say we establish women's rights. But the job of a woman in Islam, okay, has to meet very strict criteria. She must be respected at all times, in all places, by all the people. She cannot have any abuse or any harm come her way. I'm going to take that away. It's very important. Nowadays, what we have is most families, you need two people to work. You need mama and baba to work to sustain the family because life is expensive. Jaiz is halal as long as the job is halal, both ways, by the way. This hadith refers to this sign because near the end of time, so much business will be available and people will need to work because life is expensive that the woman tushariku zawjaha. The woman will be a partner in this. Do you guys know how long ago this was said? 1,443 years ago. During the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the woman did not work if they had a husband. Most of them, this was a big taboo. Khadija radiallahu anhu ardaha, she had Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to work for. He was her husband. When before she was married to him, she was working, but when she married, he did all the trade. Do you understand that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given this great insight to see this far ahead? That women will be in partnership with their husbands in order to make a living. And again, I must stress the point, it's not haram. It is not haram as long as the job is respectful. Another interesting one, he says sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yakthuru ash-shuh. And this, I wanted to bring this about because it's very important. In this expensive society we live in, people have grown to become very selfish. What does selfish mean? Who can tell me in the back? What is selfish? Go ahead. What is selfish?
It means that you only care about yourself.
Only care about yourself. What else? What is selfish?
Selfish, you put yourself in front of everyone else.
Ahsant, very good definition. You put yourself before anyone else. Ash-shuh, he says the hour will not be established until ash-shuh is prevalent. يَكْثُرُ الشُّحْ وَهُوَ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْبُخْلِ. Just so you know the difference. Al-bukhl is to be cheap or conservative. Ash-shuh is to be stingy and miserly. Meaning, you won't give a dog a bone. The dog is starving. You've eaten the meat, you won't even give him the bone. And this is widespread. Today you are taught in the capitalistic world that we live in, it's me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. No one else. Everyone else is my competition. I have to make more, be faster, do this. Everything for me, myself, and I. And this breeds greed. The fact that you want everything for yourself and no good for anyone else. This is a disease. And we are living in the midst of it. نسأل الله العافية ودوام العافية في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. Another one, he says sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the increase in lies. لا تقوم الساعة حتى يكثر الكذب. يعني lies will be prevalent. And ya subhanallah. The lies are everywhere. Whether on social media, whether on the mainstream news outlets, everywhere is just lies. Kadib, 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 kadib. You have to reference and cross-reference your reference because everything that is around you is a lie now. Except for the Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm telling you, we are living in a time of deception. And this is one of the signs of the hour, is that the people who tell lies are deemed to be truthful. انقلبت الموازين. And those who say the truth, they're tainted as liars. The good are painted with the bad brush, and the bad are painted with a good brush. It's an age of deception. It's an age of deception. They have deceived us. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. It's a disaster because so many examples of this. So many examples. I don't want to say names or anything, but tabayyanu. Try to cross-reference everything. And I'm not saying live in doubt. La, live in certainty. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We live in absolute certainty. We have no doubt. No doubt. We are upon the haqq. We will die upon the haqq. We will be resurrected upon the haqq, inshaAllah. Say Ameen.
Amen.
But don't be fooled by their lies. Don't follow their little maze and say, I wonder what's going to happen if this happens and maybe if that happened. Leave it alone. It's beyond us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is above everything and everyone. Al-Khabir al-Alim, Jalla fi ulah. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this hadith عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه وارضاه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا ضيعت الأمانة فانتظر الساعة. Look how he said it. He said, if the trust has been lost, then wait for the hour. يعني it's coming. فقيل كيف إضاعتها يا رسول الله? How would they lose the amana? And he's talking about trust. Trust, meaning truth. Truth. They said كيف تضيع? How would they lose the trust? How would they lose that? يا رسول الله فقال إذا أسند الأمر إلى غير أهله فانتظر الساعة. He says, if the affairs of people are being governed by men and women that have absolutely no business in doing so. If the worst of people, the worst of people, are deemed as to be the highest of people, the sexual rapists, the abusers, the liars, the plagiarists, the worst of people, they're deemed to be the icons of society. And we are living in it. We are living in it. And we have been living in it. You know, every year they have a Martin Luther King Jr. Day, MLK, whatever his name is. I just want to tell you something about this despicable man. This man was a plagiarist, a womanizer. He cheated on his exams and he stole his famous speech. He is not a black right activist. He is a nobody, a degenerate, a despicable human being, and they have a day for him. Yes.
I also heard he was also a Zionist.
Probably. But it's been tried, tested, and true. He cheated on his exams. He cheated on his wife. He stole the famous speech. And they have a day for him as an iconic figure. But they don't have a day for Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X. Why is that? Because one is saying the truth and the other one is saying falsehood. And the falsehood has become the truth. And the truth has become falsehood. We are living in these times. Don't think for a moment. Don't be blinded. I just want to pull the veil off your eyes and give you a pair of glasses. You're being fooled. He then said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, لا تقوم الساعة, the hour will not come to pass until the shirk in my ummah, الشرك في أمتي. Can you imagine? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he في فتح Mecca, when he entered upon Mecca, he commanded, he just pointed, and the Sahaba destroyed all the idols of false worship. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ardahum, the tabi'een, the tabi'een, they were upon tawheed ala yaqeen. And then, subhanallah, the shirk crept back into this one. Huh? He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that shirk associating with Allah, meaning Muslims, will start to associate with Allah. But how is this so? You're telling me we believe in Allah, we are muwahhidun, we are upon tawheed. If you go to any country, I don't care where, Pakistan or Morocco, Jazair, Somal, wherever you want to go, there are people upon shirk there that say we are Muslim. Because they worship graves, they worship the pious people in those graves, they make dua to them, they hang a talisman, they say it protects me from the evil eye, all of these things. This is shirk. This is shirk. We put our faith in Allah. We put our trust in Allah, not some necklace. We don't pray or make dua in a special place for this dead pious guy to give us. Nah. So this is one of the signs of the hour. Then he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, increase in natural calamities such as earthquakes. We've already mentioned that. The death of the pious people, and the ulama, the people of ilm, the people of knowledge, are scarce. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes knowledge. He doesn't remove it from just like, pages. Or the ulama, the people of knowledge, are far and few in between now. And for us, as students of knowledge or as laymen, we need to find the correct source of knowledge. Don't just go to Sheikh Google and put in, is it halal to eat marshmallows? Or this is not your deen. Your deen, you need to study what is the basis of halal. Okay? What is the basis of halal? What is the basis of haram? What constitutes in usul? Like the bare bones, the basics, is that you understand the meaning of halal first in terms of food. For you to ask such a question, a specific question. So right now we have a scarcity in ulama, and this is one of the signs of the hour, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take His chosen sharitatah, as Nabiullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, sharitatah. He says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove these people by taking their lives. Rahmatullahi alayhim ajma'in wa hafidhahumullah ajma'in. I'll mention this one, inshallah. I think we still have time. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يكلم السباع الإنس ويكلم الرجل عذبة صوته وشراك نعله ويخبره فخذه بما حدث أهله بعده. This is a very interesting riwayah, and it is in the Sahih. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the hour will not come to pass until the beasts, as-siba', تكلم الإنس, the beast will speak to men. Now, some of the ulama said that this has not happened yet. But if you look around, there are many videos and incidences in history where animals did communicate with human beings. But it will be more prevalent as the hour approaches. It will be more prevalent as the hour approaches. And then he says something, and I mentioned this last week, وَيُكَلِّمُ الرَّجُلُ عَذْبَةَ صَوْتِهِ وَشِرَاكَ نَعْلِهِ وَعَلَيْكُمْ السَّلَامُ وَرَحْمَةُllahi wa barakatuh. So he says, and the man will speak to the little leather part, the partition between his toes. Speak to it. 1 second. And then he mentions something else. He says, وَيُخْبِرُهُ فَخِذُهُ. He says, and his thigh will inform him of what his family has done or is doing. Now, most of you, if you have a cell phone, the ulama said, where do you keep it? Right here. And you can check up on your family. If you have a video surveillance, you can call them. Everything. SubhanAllah. And the one about yukallimu, the hour will not come to pass until the man will speak to the shirak na'lih, the leather gap between the toes. I showed you guys last week that the Bluetooth, from one of the first designs of the Bluetooth, it was designed in that exact shape. Okay, where you put it here and you have 12 hours hands-free talking. And you're literally talking. And it looks exactly like that. Wallahu a'la wa a'lam. Okay, I'm gonna mention two more inshallah. And then he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, من أشراط الساعة أن يمر الرجل في المسجد لا يصلي فيه ركعتين وأن لا يسلم الرجل إلا على من يعرف. Subhanallah. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, from the signs of the hour is that a man will walk by a masjid and he will not care to enter and pray 2 rak'ahs. Bare minimum. So here he's talking about two things. A, there's going to be so many masajid, okay, that guy perhaps he doesn't pray in this masjid, so he'll just keep walking. B, that guy doesn't even pray. The masjid is empty. He hasn't prayed. He doesn't even pray 2 sunnah rak'ah. Nothing. We are living in that time. We are living in that time. And then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَأَنْ لَا يُسَلِّمُ الرَّجُلَ إِلَّا عَلَى مَنْ يَعْرِفُ. This, I've witnessed it so many times and it's actually embarrassing. You notice sometimes you're in a group of brothers and then a person will walk by and he'll know you. So he'll come to you and he says salam and everybody else is a fictitious ghost. And he will walk away, leaving everybody to stare. This is from the signs of the hour. And no, you're not supposed to do that. بَلْ أَفْشُ السَّلَامِ. You give salam to all the Muslims. مَنْ تَعْرِفُ وَمَنْ لَمْ تَعْرِفُ. Whoever you know and whoever you don't know. You don't single out one person from a group and you go say, Assalamu alaikum, how you been? And then you walk away as if though the other people are meaningless. No, this is not from the etiquette of the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is from the signs of the hour. Next week, inshallah, I'm going to continue because there's many, by the way. But before I want to conclude, I'll mention one that hasn't passed. I'll mention a sign, min alamat as-sa'at as-sughra, that has not come to pass yet. When I say yet, I say yet. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that near the end of times, there will be a mountain of gold that will be uncovered in the Euphrates River. This mountain of gold is no ordinary mountain. It is so much gold that everyone will want a piece. And people will flock over to get it. And for every 100 of them there, 99 of them will die. One of them will take something. But that will still not deter whoever hears about it to keep going, to say maybe I will be that one. That's how much gold there is. And we as Muslims, we are not allowed to touch a single thing from it. Now this, you have to understand, the Euphrates is in the Middle East. It goes from Iraq to Turkey to Syria. Okay? It's a major body of water. Very vital for that region. And everyone there is dependent, subhanAllah, on its water source. If you look, I was reading statistics recently. They said that the Euphrates is at a 70% decline, the water level. It is drying up faster than ever. Okay? In certain parts, especially in Iraq. And right now, I read an article that there are people panning on the Euphrates in Iraq for gold, and every day they're coming up with nuggets, very considerably sized nuggets. So there's lots of gold. Right now they're taking gold from it. So imagine when it completely dries up and it reveals, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the entire mountain of gold. So this is one of the minor signs الذي ذكرها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم that hasn't come to pass, but because we are living in this age, I gave you two clues. We're very close. The water is declining to an all-time low. A, B, they're already panning and finding gold. So this will be, Wallahu a'la wa a'lam, in our time. Hafidhan Allah wa hafidhakum Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. And if it is in your time, you're not allowed to touch it. And this is a fitna. This is a trial to test you, to see if you are a true believer. Subhanallah. So next week, inshallah, I want to continue with some of the small signs that have passed, and I'll also mention more signs that have yet to pass, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum, ashkurukum ala husni istima'akum, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. If anybody has a question, come and ask me inshallah. Don't be embarrassed. بارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.